Yemo bibi akwaba na yemfounder yem platform we eso. Abusiafo say the removal of the OSP Yeraki Sejabin has been intensified. In fact, say ano ayedin ankofo call for the removal. Nankana asem no yet ensheda nya asem bebre. But since arrest lawyer Martin Kpebu wombreko a owura no ni krom ha se lawyer Martin Kpebu ye can corruption and corruption related issues this man has never been guilty and obia entimi nka se lawyer Martin Kpebu akoye ade bi a breach the law of this state intina nkofo nti ase the main reasons why OSP Kisejabin etimi invite lawyer Martin Kpebu to the extent say we detaining no for some hours now or releasing no for after a few hours. Enti amasa asem no enkofo dwen ho mo nti ase and it has boosted the conversation out there. Now omo pese the office of the special prosecutor no omo yifiri ho no it has now boosted and now koju parliament ayura Speaker of Parliament Alban Sumaina Kingsford Barbin and so din anu atu wo kire se even the office of the special prosecutor there is no backing law kire se that institution no must be there a omuntimi engu no abusia enkomodidie we na NDC legal team ba ko team member ye friend lawyer Abraham Amaliba okopiem ewo TV3 the key points Alfred Okan there be when Alfred Okan say Roland Walker the show no eso na minim say na Saturday because of holiday ninti and our church nsemu enti ye be koni akotie nsem no emu nkyerem but answer na be kon mesro say do comment betum na wa like dwumadie we na wa share na foforo enye bia hwe ye nti nsem a omodi tu dan no nkwan na wo ho in fact the pundit or the panelist no na very solid they were all at peace. What you say, the office of the special prosecutor must be removed. Simple.
I myself decided to go to the law school. I happened to enter a class, and that was Martin Kpebu also sitting there, a teeny, skinny guy, but with a lion's heart. So the two are my friends. But what happened on that day, that evening, which led to Martin Kpebu's arrest, lacked wisdom. And that's why I describe it as irrational. This is a man who has accused the entire institution. You don't do anything to him that would suggest that you are trying to stifle him. Any attempt to do what they did would amount to, oh, so now it appears it's true. That's why they are doing that to him. And that's what most Ghanaians said afterwards. So it lacked wisdom. They needed to just not allow that to happen. But you see, those in uniform, and so the military alone, those in uniform, because when you listen to Martin Kpebu's narration, the altercation started when some policemen and soldiers at the premises tried to either hurl insults at him or ridicule him. And knowing Martin Kpebu, he's not the type who will just keep quiet and walk away. And I told you, this is a man who has a lion's heart. You know, when we're growing, there were some people you can beat them, you throw them, but they'll cling back to you. And you will be the one to even run away and leave the person. That's the kind of Martin Kpebu is. And you see, when he was released from, his spirits were not down. You see? I'm sure by now the wife will say, oh, you are not the only one. What is happening? But he won't mind. So such people too are there. And such people pop up in generations. And I can mention a lot of people all over the world. If you go to Nigeria, during the military regime, there's a lawyer called Femi Falani. Femi Falani, Nigeria.
Yeah.
Google him and you see. In South Africa, there was Steve Biko. When it was apartheid, when it was dangerous, there was that person. So there are people like that. Even in our regime, during the Rawlings, there was Kwesi Pratt. There are people like that. They come, they pop up once a while, and they are ready to even die. So when the soldiers begin to taunt him or do those things, that led to all the brouhaha we saw. And I want to tell those in uniform, and if they are listening this morning, the fact that you are in uniform doesn't mean that you should look down upon civilians. Because what is this all about? You are stupid. What is this all about? You will see. Is it because of the uniform you are wearing? Because there are some of them, 1-to-1, the civilian can beat him. You understand? So I think they are training too, their orientation. They are still behaving like the colonial period. And I've said that the training must give them democratic, because we're in a democracy, democratic training, so that they will begin to deal with people nicely. And you see that they have been withdrawn from I'm told yesterday they were not there again. The soldiers were not there.
Oh, I see.
Because of this brouhaha. Now, I was shocked that after all that criticism that evening against the Special Prosecutor's Office, they still went ahead and invited him to come the next day and were posing harsh bail conditions.
So they even went around to him to verify the residence and check the documents and take measurements. I heard Martin say that they took measurements of the land to check whether it aligns with what was on the documents.
This smart car
As if you are dealing with a common criminal who has no place of abode. Martin Kpebu can be found anywhere. But I thought that after that evening's bashing of the Special Prosecutor, they would have called this matter off. And I agree with Martin Kpebu. If you go to court, what is the issue that you are going to raise? Obstruction of a public officer? When the public officer was the one who held the insult files? So, the Special Prosecutor failed to apply wisdom in this matter. Kisi Ajabe is my friend. But I knew he was going to release that evening. I broke the news before you broke the news.
We spoke to you just, I think, about 5 or 10 minutes before you said that some intervention had taken place.
Yes.
Where did that intervention come from?
I won't tell you.
Our viewers are interested.
I won't tell you.
Oh, you're also not going to tell me?
I won't tell you.
As a man,
you are denying us information.
No.
I mean, it's important because of what has happened subsequently. Because if there was an intervention, one would think that would end the matter. But the following day, they are going around with him still checking.
I tell what I tell my wife anytime some of these things come up. There are some secrets as a man, you must die with it.
Yes. Totally agree. Absolutely.
There are some.
Well, you are now back vocalist,
absolutely.
right? What would you do?
Absolutely. It's not everything you say as a man.
As a man.
The two are one, so tell everything.
I said
There are some.
Everything.
You must go to grave of it. And this one of it.
That one, I agree. I agree. That one, I
So this one is one of it.
agree.
I agree.
So
Why are you a man?
when all these things were happening, I knew there were talks behind the scene that he would be released that evening. And Kisi had actually said that he was going to ensure that he's released. And that's how come I came out to break the news. Now, should Kisi Ajabe go or not? I would say here and now that it is not about Kisi Ajabe. It is about the office. That office was created by what I'll call political motivation. It is politically motivated office that was created. The circumstances that led to the creation of that office was because the previous administration wanted to get at the former Mahama administrators or appointees. And so they got Martin Amidu, because at that time the relationship between Martin Amidu and the NDC had strained, thinking that, and they didn't know that Martin Amidu had his own mind. He's a man you cannot push around, thinking that he would do their bidding. So immediately Martin Amidu resigned. That was the end, or the beginning of the end of that office. My own prescription of that office is that office, if redesigned, can play the role that it is expected to play. I wouldn't call for its total abolition. I will call for it being given to, I know there are people who are calling for decoupling of the Attorney General and the Minister of Justice. So that the prosecutorial powers will be with the Attorney General. The Minister of Justice will just be the administrator of, they're like the minister. We can merge it with the DPP's office. And the appointment to that office will be non-political. The president should not have a hand in appointing that person, if actually we are interested in fighting corruption. Because it is important that we have an independent body that will not look behind its shoulders when corruption comes into play. And so that independent body can be the special prosecutor, but merged with the Attorney General office, which will be decoupled, which will further be decoupled from the Minister of Justice, and make that office the prosecutorial office when it comes to matters of corruption as well. Okay. So that for me is the way to go. But not scrapping it entirely will not also cure the mischief of where the Attorney General is unable to prosecute his own.
Okay.
So if we are interested in fighting corruption, let's redesign that office in this form that I've mentioned.
Let me come to Ebo here. And Ebo, I mean, what do you make of all that has been playing out there? I mean, there are those who say that Kissi is not helping matters, particularly at a time that there is a certain push to have him removed from office.
Yeah, let me deal with the office itself before I come to the person of Kissi. I have said it. It's on record, and I want to repeat it here. I think the establishment of the office was superfluous, and it was wasteful. We didn't need it. As AB said, that office was established for a purpose. And when that fizzled out, it became a different office altogether. And I've said that what Nana Akufo-Addo created that office for was nothing but pure governance mockery. You know, it's like establishing a fire service, okay? And then you, the one who established fire service, you turn around and you burn the house yourself. You burn the house down yourself. One of the reasons why we established that office was to prevent corruption. If you look at the mandates of the OSP, one of the core mandates was to prevent corruption. But the Nana Akufo-Addo's government left office as the most corrupt government. So what was the essence of the office? Why was the office established in the first place? Are you getting it? So I believe that we don't need our office. But my position is quite different from what AB suggested. That is the position of the United Party. We believe that if indeed we want to fight corruption, one of the things we need to do is to harmonize all anti-corruption institutions into one anti-corruption institution. Because in Ghana today, if you look, CID is fighting corruption, OSP is fighting corruption, FIC is fighting corruption, Yoko is fighting corruption. You could see pockets of institutions with multiplicity of functions, all fighting corruption. So there seems to be confusion in that area. And we are not getting any results. We are spending so much in our fight against corruption, but the results we are getting is not anything to write home about. So let's be rational about it. Let's look at it from, cost-benefit analysis perspective. Are you getting it? And value for money perspective. And so we believe that if you harmonize all our institutions into one anti-corruption institution, then harmonize all our corruption laws. They are all scattered all over the place. Let's have one law, anti-corruption law. Are you getting it? And have one person in charge. I agree with AB. And that is our position. The person should not be appointed by the president, so that the person can even take the president to court and even charge the president and prosecute him. If you really want to fight corruption, that should be the approach. And so, if we're able to do that, and can you imagine we have what we call anti-corruption czar or overlord, who is not afraid of anyone in this country when it comes to the issue of corruption, who will not be looking behind me whether someone is watching or someone is speaking, whether a chief or someone is speaking. The person will go after whoever is involved in corruption. And if you're able to do that, I believe we can achieve a lot in respect of our fight against corruption. So I am for the complete, if you scrapping of the office. Let's replace it with something more powerful. The man said, I saw Ken leave and I was so powerless. I saw him leave. I intercepted the letter that suggested that the man was about to leave. I saw him leave and I was so powerless. I couldn't do anything about it. So why should that office exist? Why don't you convert it into something more powerful that can have teeth to bite, even the president?
But wait a minute, what could he have done under Akufo-Addo's administration? Do you know the administration you were talking about? And Kisik can stop what's his name, Ken Ofurata and Akufo-Addo.
It's because of the nature. No. It's because of the nature of the office.
That's the point.
It's because of the nature of the office.
Because Martin's argument is that, we're right here in this country where the former special prosecutor publicly said that his work had been interfered with by the president. He said the president had asked him to do something. He had wanted him to take some document, and when he was investigating issues relating to the finance minister. That's the point that Martin makes, that if he couldn't do anything, the public should know.
Yeah, I don't know. The point I'm making is that it's because of the nature of the office. How the office has been established. That is why the man occupying the office sees himself as powerless. If you can establish in such a way that the man will be so powerful, will feel powerful, that the man can stop even president from traveling. You see, let's be serious if we want to fight corruption. Let's learn from what others have done and they've succeeded. Even Ethiopia, I was saying the last time here, Ethiopia, this year, January 25th or so, they passed a law, and the law is retroactive. When the case was taken to court, Supreme Court, the Supreme Court said, corruption is a special case, therefore we need a special law to deal with it. So forget about this retroactive thing that you are fighting. Let's go back 10 years. That's what they've done. They've gone back 10 years. In the last 10 years, if you acquired any property, but you cannot justify how you acquired it, it is confiscated to the state. And they've also, in that same law, they've shifted the burden from the prosecutor to the accused person. Because if you follow the same archaic colonial laws that are not helping us to fight corruption, we'll still be where we are. Let's do something different if we want to succeed in fighting corruption. And I believe that the office must not go. It is superfluous, it is wasteful, it is as wasteful as National Cathedral project. We should get it out and get something more powerful. And that's the only way we can fight corruption and succeed.
Before the office goes, if the government takes that decision, I mean, do we need a new special prosecutor?
Before the office goes. I don't think the office must go quickly, immediately. They should begin the process and let's get it off and bring something powerful. And that is why, you see, that is why the Constitutional Review Committee must come in. They should, because all this is happening for a reason. I'm telling you. If whoever will be in charge of corruption in this country must not take his power from the Attorney General. The power, he must derive his power directly from the Constitution. And the security of office should be assured by the Constitution. And we should be very serious, my brother. If you really want to succeed, you see, we can only pretend to be fighting corruption. When in actual fact, we know we are not fighting corruption. But if you really want to fight corruption, let's go into our law books and make a lot of changes. Okay. So that we can really succeed and save this country from especially what we experienced in the past 8 years under Akufo-Addo and his relatives, to the extent that, as we speak, his own cousin has run away from the country. He's not even speaking, asking him to come. The man has run out of the country. Yeah, former finance minister. It's a shame.
Let me come to Prof now. And Prof, I mean, there are some who say that when they see the political class agree on an issue, there's a problem. All of a sudden, they're all agreeing that the OSP should go. I mean, what do you make of that?
Zaka, good morning to your viewers and listeners all over the world. It doesn't look good for that office. If all voices are saying that he must go, it doesn't look good for the offices. But there's a reason why we have come to this level. But for TV and radio programs, anybody sees me and asks me that, we didn't know you were that calm. I'm a very calm person, very quiet, introverted. Because I have passion for leadership and the wrong in society, that is why I talk. Maybe talk about if we are interested in fighting corruption. And University of Wisconsin, Eau Claire, has this logo, the power of if. That word, if, is so powerful. So what about if the OSP has performed all the functions to the expectations of Ghanaians? Would we have said that he should go? And anytime you see a conflict anywhere, it is coming from unmet need. In a relationship, in academia, in the workplace, in governance, when there is an unmet need, it creates conflict. So what is the need that Ghanaians are looking for? And the need is simple, to fight corruption. So Act 2017, Act 959 established the OSP. This is an office. And anytime you sit behind a desk in an office, there are two things, your personal power and then your positional power. Once you begin to use your positional power to bully other people, you are unfit for that office. But once you begin to use your personal power, build relationship with people, even when you are not there, they meet you and then everybody will be nice with you. Ghanaians are interesting people. When you have power, they will praise you. Oh, you are good. You are doing everything. You champion, number one. But as soon as you are out of office, they will see you in town. They will not even say hello to you. And Ghanaians should learn from it. Anytime you use your positional power, you are in trouble. You have to use your personal power to have a relationship with people. So that even if you are no more there, people can remember you based on the relationship that they built with you. So the speaker has spoken. And the speaker is not a small person in this country. He said that the OSP has no constitutional basis. That's interesting. But we are talking about an act that established that office. And the speaker is saying that it was a statement of intent to fight corruption. So an intent, but it means we still not fought the corruption basis. Our elders said that when we are pounding the fufu, we don't drink the soup before the fufu is finished. Some individuals have sent petition to the president, 3 of them. And now we are being told by Martin Kpebu that he's received 14. When he was arrested, I was one of the individuals who was called to speak about this issue, remember? And then I spoke about that he's not a public servant and he has not committed any crime. So why are we arresting him in such a manner? And I saw a lot of comments. Some people were saying Shatawale was arrested. He's not a public servant. He's not a criminal. And a whole lot of individuals bringing other issues. And I had to correct them about Yoko, Monday, which is different from what is happening at the OSP. But the way the president have handled the petition to the OSP, he has handed everything to the Chief Justice for advice. And we have Article 70 and the others that individuals appointed by the president, they have to go through a petition. And then when the president receives a petition, Ghanaians should know that the president's hands are tied. Why is his hands tied? Because the Constitution is channel. The Constitution forces everybody. So whether you are a president or a cleaner, we are all under the law. The Constitution says that the president should act on it. So those petitions, the three of it, remember 10 were sent, 7 to the Electoral Commission and the 2 deputies, 3 about the OSP. The president forwarded that one to the Chief Justice, Bafuboni, who was just, approved, to advise the president, study and advise the president. But before the Chief Justice received it, the president went through the Council of State, which is the process. So I know that the OSP already has an issue, pending with the Chief Justice for that investigation. But let's go to the question of the day.
Of order. Isn't it only when is the Supreme Court judge?
So with regards to the special prosecutor, is under Section 15 of the Act.
Yes.
So that goes to the president. It goes to the president,
yes.
And where he receives it,
goes to the Chief Justice.
Within 7 days, refer the person to the Chief Justice.
But that is what has happened.
30 days.
No, but it doesn't
determine
go to
whether
the,
there is a prima facie case.
It doesn't go to
without the Council of State. Without the Council of State.
All right.
Yes.
That's fine. Thank you for the correction. So now the petition the president have received is giving it to the Chief Justice.
He has 30 days to determine
30 days, and then advise the president on that issue. So that process is being done. Now we have another process where Martin Kpebu says that he has also received about 14 petitions that he's also going to present that one to the president. So let's see how everything goes. Now I come to the question of, is the office necessary? I think that because it is established, it went through the process, we have different thoughts about it. But what about having a united anti-corruption office plus lifestyle auditing? If we want to streamline everything, we know that the lifestyle auditing that we've been talking about doesn't have a home. We don't have any place that have to go through the lifestyle auditing. So if we are going to strengthen the place, the OSP office, we can strengthen it by adding another responsibility of lifestyle auditing, because the reason why I'm saying that is 3 or 4 things. One, the office is about cost and benefit analysis. The reason why the office was established have 3 goals: investigate and prosecute corruption and related offenses in both public and private sectors. So they have been investigating, but prosecution has become a problem. A lot of investigations have gone on, a lot of money has been spent. They claim that they have saved the country 2.7 billion cedis. People are saying that they have not seen that. Then they are supposed to recover and manage proceeds of corruption. How much money have they recovered from proceeds of corruption? That is also a question that is lingering in the minds of many Ghanaians. Then they can also arrest. So they have police powers to arrest, search, and seize assets, requiring disclosure of assets as well. So how many seizures have they taken? How many assets have they, taken from people who acquired them illegally? How many disclosures of assets have they made public to the people? We don't have it. I was surprised about landed property being used as a bail term. I don't know. Now we are being told from these actions that if you're a Ghanaian and you don't have a landed property, then keep quiet.
In your name.
In your name, then keep quiet, because if you talk, you say, hey, and then something happened, then go bring your land and then your house. If you don't have a house or a land, then you are in trouble. Why are we doing this to ourselves? Now I come to what I think about the whole situation. AB talked about one of the issues that have been raised, which is a different thought, about the Ministry of Justice and Attorney General, that let's separate them so that we have the Attorney General and then the Justice and Administrator who will make sure that it's non-partisan. I think politics has entered into the way of many things that we do. What about the Police Council having their own IGP? Because at our workplace, we know people who are leaders, we know people who are smart, we work with them every day. And if you go to the police service, they can get their own IGP and say that from the Police Council, and even input from those who work there, that this person is a leader, this person is not a leader. What about the Prison Council? What about the military? So let's go, now that we are fixing our constitution from the Constitutional Review, Prempers Constitutional Review Committee, let's be...
their work.
Is it what?
They finished their work.
They finished their work, okay. I am hoping that some of these things might have been corrected, because if you have the independent counsel Like I'm saying, every work that we do, either at the bank, at the universities, in public service, we know the leaders among us. Nobody should come and tell us of a leader from other places. One thing that politics does is that it is about alignment. So politicians will pick somebody that they can trust and align with and bring that person to be a leader of that institution. That creates a problem. Because even our culture is such that when somebody gives you a job, because it's difficult for Ghanaians to find a job. So Obishishe Jumamawa, it feels like you are indebted to that person. And I've seen some people buying cloth, some things for them at the end of the year to thank them. Because they were staying home 4, 5 years, 7 years not getting a job, and you've helped them. In the same way, if you appoint somebody to a position, the psyche of Ghanaians, because in advance what is different. The fact that you appointed me, doesn't mean that you are going to get my mind when it comes to making judgment and decision, because we appoint people who are independent minded into positions so that they can make their own value judgment decisions. Unfortunately, it's not like that here. When people who appoint others to positions, they feel that they are indebted to the person who appointed them. And because of that, they have to do a little bit for that person. That is a problem.
Okay.
We need that kind of independent mindset. And if we are not getting that from the appointment processes, then we should begin to look for what Ebo said, a czar, anti-corruption czar. That person we know is no nonsense person. I had one of those as my mentors, John McCain. John McCain was an Arizona senator for over 24 years. But when it comes to Parliament, the House, Congress, for them to vote, Republicans will be shaking, because you cannot bet on McCain's vote. If it is against America, he will vote against that, even though it is his party that sent him to the office. We need that kind of mavericks in anti-corruption areas. Other than that, if you have people who will come and complain about Ankwanuma and, I tried to stop and that could not be stopped, it's like you are powerless. But the act gave him a lot of powers to prosecute, to arrest, to declare. Let people force them to declare. But that is not what Ghanaians are saying. So the power of if is what I earned.
Okay.
If he has not met our expectations, every job in our world, whether you are a cleaner or the president, there are job specifications. There are expectations. If you don't meet them, what happens to you? You are fired. So I think that is where we are going to, and that is why I began by saying that it doesn't look good for that office.
Let me come to senior now. I mean, 8 years since we passed the law, we've had 2 special prosecutors. The first one left saying that his work was being interfered with. Now the second one, there's a growing consensus of sorts that something drastic ought to happen. I mean, have we failed in this endeavor that we set for ourselves in dealing with corruption?
Good morning.
Good morning.
We all can't be mavericks, as Prof is suggesting that we need to be mavericks. We all can't be mavericks. It should be the standard practice. He referred to McCain. It should be the standard practice, especially in Africa. And what do? We glorify things by using words. Corruption is acceptable. Oh, it's corrupt here, corrupt here. It is stealing. That is the way we should put it. People are stealing. And let me say, Ghanaians, stop stealing. Politicians, stop stealing. Market women, stop stealing. You call it corruption. I call it stealing. This morning we were talking. You go and buy tomatoes, a basket of tomatoes. They have put what you call it on the newspaper underneath to heap it as if it's plenty. Mango, same thing. It's stealing. And it's got to stop. It's got to stop. Ghana alone. Eddie was saying he bought a suit in Nigeria. 2 for how much? How much did you buy it? How much did you buy it for?
Give the amount.
When he came to Ghana, that one suit cost those 2 suits. Why? Is there a difference between Nigeria and Ghana? Our currency is even stronger than theirs. Stop the stealing. We have to. Everybody feels they are smart, and everybody wants to be smart with each other. If that is what we're doing, then we ain't going nowhere. Let me come to Parliament. But let me start from what happened. This particular issue was a storm in a teacup. If both sides exercise patience, If my good friend Martin, after what the soldier said to him, he just walked off and ignored, and Kisi also didn't go an extra mile the way he went an extra mile in terms of the process of arresting Martin Kpebu, this thing wouldn't have happened because it got absolutely nothing to do with the accusation. Nothing. And now it has now taken center stage. Why? Patience. And remember, they are both leaders, and we expect our leaders to be patient. I expected that the armed forces, even the commander-in-chief, would instruct the armed forces to call that soldier and inquire from him the comments he made. The fact that you're in uniform doesn't give you the right to say the things the man said, according to Martin Kpebu, that you will see next time you see. What do you mean? Because you're wearing a soldier's dress, and you see it all the time with our security men. The policeman will stop you, and then he will warn you. Next time you see what I'll do to you. If you are charging me, charge me. If you are arresting me, arrest me. When the British policeman catches you, he doesn't say, hey, I've caught you. Probably you have, you have jumped the traffic light. He's seen you once, he didn't say anything. You jump again, he stops you. He might not refer if he doesn't have evidence of your first one. But if he has a video evidence of your first one, he will show it to you, and he will arrest you and tell you why he's arresting you, and seize your car and take you to the police station. Does it happen here? Let me go to Parliament. I was saddened when I heard the comments from Parliament. Look, it's two areas. It's the office of the OSP and it is the SP. Two areas. Which one are we talking about?
I mean, the conversation started from the SP, but now it's about the OSP.
Now. Don't you think? And I was scandalized when I heard what my good friend, the majority leader, said, and when the speaker also said what he said. Because I asked myself, there is a fundamental problem with the OSP. If Martin Amidu couldn't prosecute, Kisia Jabin has come, he hasn't been able to prosecute. There's a fundamental problem. So don't we then look at what that fundamental problem is? And I would have thought Parliament to say, look, the OSP's office is a good thing, if for nothing at all. If they tell you, Akable, you're going to do this, you're taking the OSP, you will shake. You will shake. And so I expected what Parliament to do was say, look, we will set up a powerful committee of two renowned judges. We would bring in EITI. We would bring in, the CSO. And then we will bring in an individual who is respected. Go in there. One, investigate this particular situation that has happened, and also try and investigate what is causing the OSP not to be able to give the people of Ghana the results we are looking for. Let me ask you, the entire fabric of our corruption institutions, have they been able to give us results? BNI, then. You said we have how many? Have they been able to give us any results? And you see, the ironical thing is that other countries are watching what we've done in terms of OSP, and they're coming to learn from us. We've been lauded, we've been given praise for what we are trying to do by establishing the OSP's office. And we are standing in our parliament to say what? We should abrogate it. Abrogate it to take what? Abrogate it to take what? The Attorney General, one of the reasons why the OSP was brought in, apart from what AB said, was the fact that the Attorney General was finding it difficult to prosecute his own. To prosecute his own. And so we needed an independent, some of us even thought it would be an ombudsman, but no. We set up this. Should we abrogate it? Then if that is the case, all parastatals that aren't making profit for government, we should close them down. We should close them down. Corruption is a canker. Stealing is a canker in this country, and it needs to be dealt with. Dealt with not on a partisan issue, dealt with collectively. Because what is corruption doing? It's taking away money. And you see, we keep saying, oh, Ghana, we don't have money. But when you see the amounts that people are stealing, you sit down and ask yourself, hey, so where is this money coming from? This money that these people are stealing, where is it coming from? I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's only President Mahama who has looked at the Auditor General's statements and said, we need to go in there. Previous presidents, from MPP, NDC till now, have they handled that particular issue? He comes and sings a song in Parliament about those who have created wrong things with with his reports, and we sit and do what? We close our hands and we do nothing about it.
We just talk about it.
We just talk about it. We need action. Look, for me, we can have all the laws. If we are not able to implement those laws, let's go to bed. And I thought Parliament would sit together and say, no, the OSP's office is a good office. Let's look at it. Let's see what the problems are. Let's see how best we can tweak it and make it better. Now, with regards to choosing, a special prosecutor, I think it should be done such that the president waives his right to choose. Open it up. Open it up. And televise it. Anybody who wants to be a special prosecutor, televise the interviews of those who bring their names forward. Televise it for Ghanaians to see, to hear what they have to say, so that they are more responsible to who? The people of Ghana than the political parties that brought them in. Kisia Jabeng, unfortunately, hasn't been able to do what we're looking for, prosecutions. He hasn't been able to. Martin Amidou, the big Martin Amidou, my good friend, wasn't able to do prosecutions. Have we asked the question why? But let me ask, who finances the special prosecutor? Is it Parliament or is it government?
Government.
Government. Where does the money come from?
Our taxes.
Our taxes. Who approves it?
Parliament.
So all the time they've been approving monies for they didn't like it.
In fact, the conversation this week, one of the days, they were actually considering estimates for the office, and that's what they were complaining about. But I mean,
but you see, I want to disagree with Martin Kpebu on the attacks on Kisia Jabeng. Kisia Jabeng says that he had no support, and you see, if you didn't operate under the ex-Nana Addo government, you won't know how devilish that government is. And so I thought that. Oh, I thought you had finished. No, I thought that. I thought that we needed to, put in context Kisia Jabeng's claim that yes, he knew he was going. He didn't get support from the state institutions that had the power to stop him. And I think this, for me, is a plausible explanation. Because, look, Nana Akufo-Addo's regime, innocent chiefs who were at functions, suffered a brand of his regime. You saw how he ordered chiefs. So how are you going to deal with such a thing? That Ken is going to do treatment, and then Kisia Jabeng can stop him. So me, I have a little challenge with that part of Martin Kpebu's thing. Because that regime, those of us who operated under that regime, knows how that regime looked like. So let's...
Maybe, but the point...
Let me suggest a wrap up for me, yes.
And Parliament talks about scrapping it. But Parliament cannot expose their own who are doing galamsey. Isn't that an irony? They cannot expose their own because it's the speaker who said, we know those here who are doing galamsey. Let them start exposing them. Because galamsey, funding galamsey is theft, is corruption, is everything that spoils the country. And is it not spoiling the country?
It is.
Ordinary water. Look, I watched a clip the other day, Konyako, and the kind of water they are drinking and what the effect is having on them. For me, I think the Special Prosecutor's Office is important. For me, I think that office should stay. However, let's look at how best we can tweak it. Look, the American system...
Tweaking or strengthening it?
Strengthen it.
Okay.
The American system has a similar thing, where sometimes if there's a problem, they would not let the Attorney General do. They bring in a special prosecutor to look at it. For me, there's nothing.
It's a borrowed concept.
I say there's nothing wrong with the board or not. There's nothing wrong with the special prosecutor. It is how it is being handled.
Okay.
And we should open it up. Let people bring their applications. Let them prove to us that they can handle it. And the president should waive his right to put his own person in there because it becomes politicized.
What I wanted to add is that I hope the leaders listen to what we say here. You know, we just don't wake up in the morning, deny ourselves sleeps and our families and come here just to talk.
On a holiday.
On a holiday. Because we have Ghana at heart. Somebody called me and said, Prof, why have you decided to do this? You want to be like Professor this or this and just talk whilst people are quietly making money and you are talking and you are getting a lot of enemies for yourself? Because it seems that some of us who speak about the truth, we are becoming an endangered species, right? We are becoming endangered because when people don't agree with you, and disagreement is an information. So if we are all thinking the same, then nobody is thinking. But people don't get it at that level. Nobody likes a whiner. In fact, if you are hard on a job and all you do is to whine and complain, then people have a problem. But remember, we have had two trends since 2017 and 2018 that the OSP first started their job. Martin Hamidu said that government was the master serpent of all corruption. Remember?
Yes.
That is what he said.
Yeah.
And then when this guy came, Kisia Jabin came, he's also complaining about the same thing, as if there's a block, as if there is a bump that they can't clear. Now, what is causing that? I'll tell you a funny story of a friend of mine who was a CEO of Atomic Energy. And when they were doing, transitions, and I'm told he's owned by Oforiatta, I don't know if that is true or not. But when he wrote a letter that it's going to create and where the Atomic Energy is, they need a road to be clear and everything, so that when he wrote the letter, he said, they called him and they said, are you the one who wrote the letter? He said, yes. And they started laughing. And he didn't know why, because he didn't know who owned it. He just wrote to government complaining that citing that place there is going to cause a problem. But he said they called him a couple of times and all that they could do was to smile. Anytime, are you the one who wrote the letter? He said, yes. And they started smiling. So he could not understand until he told me, and then I explained to him that this might have been the cause. We have a problem in this country where if you are somebody of authority, a king, a big pastor, or a big politician, you are above the law. Police officer cannot touch you. A military officer cannot touch you. But Kwame hinted on that. In advanced countries, different from that. Look, if you're a governor or a mayor or a senator and you are caught over speeding and the charge is $500, they will charge you $1,000 because you are supposed to know better. But here, you call a big person when you are in trouble. Oh, let me talk to the person, and then you are released. Attitudinal change is what we should be looking for. Okay. Because yes, corruption is everywhere. Kwame Colley still, I agree with him. I did my dissertation on corruption. So when I sit here, I am an authoritative person talking about that issue. It's a canker. We are all glued in that corruption because the mindset of every Ghanaian is that.
Some.
I mean, if you look at, you like heckling people when they are talking. Why?
You say, oh,
we are not in a court.
I'm not in corruption, so don't add me.
You've never corrupted yourself before.
No, I don't do that kind of thing. So say some.
So majority. So let me qualify that way.
Okay.
Because I don't like class.
Because there are some people who are not corrupt at all.
Yeah, I agree with you. But majority of individuals have been psyched in such a way that they think that being corrupted means you're smart. I know some people on the road to Koforidua on a breed that I buy popo. I like popo. Now, anytime you buy popo, they will put some of the rotten one inside. And I will go back and tell the woman that you gave me a rotten one. So, that I will not do that again. But I will come back home and another rotten one inside. It's like, unless I sell the rotten one, I'm not selling the good one. Then those who are selling by the roadside, unless they finish yesterday's one that was not bought, they will not sell today's one. So if it is roasted corn or anything cooked one, they'll make sure that they sell the old one to you. Everybody is smart. Those who do coconut, you know that there's a chemical that when they shave it, they put it in there so that it will not look brown, but it will look very white. So anytime I go there, I tell them, no, I don't like the one that has been prepared already. Give me the original one. Because that chemical is dangerous to your health. I've been watching people who have been putting chemicals to force a banana to ripe early.
What are you talking about? Mercury is gold. when you use mercury into killing all of us. So have a
But
coconut
if you
is
don't want
nothing.
anybody to
No,
talk,
coconut is nothing. I'm telling you, they are using
No, but
mercury
that is
to kill
also
all of us.
chemical. That is also chemical. That's injurious to your
Okay,
body. They are also forcing banana to ripe with some chemicals, so that now open peel banana, and then you see some dots and spots on it. So what are we doing to ourselves?
Lot of corrupt acts.
A
all
lot
over
of
the place.
corrupt act. I'm talking about when the mind is corrupted. We are thinking about the quickest way of making money, but that is not how people are supposed to live.
Okay.
Then what is the FDA doing?
Okay.
The FDA, what are they doing? They are supposed to check all these things, but everything is FDA approved. Meanwhile, some of the things that we are eating is dangerous. So to conclude on this, I think that the OSP has not met our expectations, but we should not scrap that office. We should rather strengthen that office by adding another responsibility and making sure that the person we get there is really independent minded. And according to the office that established it, it's coming from somebody from a legal background to what level? Is it a high court or so level? So when we check that, then we know that the person is supposed to have adjudicated some cases or being a lawyer for a long time and is in good standing. We have to look at the history of that person and how that person is going to be independent minded. If we take politics from many of the things that we do, I think that we're going to make a headway.
Able wrap up for me 1 minute.
Yes, my point is, you see, if we really want to fight corruption, I think we should look beyond even the prosecutors or the prosecutor that we want, that independent prosecutor that we want. Because whatever that they will prepare will end up in court. Are you getting it? And so if we don't also do something about our judicial system, if cases will have to run 7, 6 years, 5 years in court, then we'll end up achieving nothing. So let's also look at how to reform our judicial system in such a way that some criminal cases will not travel beyond 6 months. I've been saying this, and I think if you're able to do that,
It's not that easy.
yes, it's not, but it should be. No, it's possible. It is being done elsewhere. It can be done in Ghana. No, it can be done in Ghana. Corruption cases
Not unless you put a special court to it. But not
Yes,
that easy.
let's do it.
Everybody when they are speaking.
Kwame, I'm surprised you are saying it should be easy for us to do it.
Okay.
If you really want to succeed in fighting corruption. But I also want to say, the bit that I don't agree with OSP, the SP, is that when he said he sought help from certain institutions when he saw Ken leave, but he mentioned NIB. NIB has come out to say it is not true that he sought help from them.
But why didn't he even make it public? Why didn't he
So that is why I have a problem with him.
At that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, so that is it on this issue of the OSP and the matters arising there, and we'll see how all of that plays out. Parliament did indicate that they may want to invite him. The majority chief whip said that it's important that they have him come over to explain what exactly happened with regards to the arrest
But
of
the spokesperson of the special prosecutor, Sami Dako, should tone down in the way he addresses these matters. He doesn't do the institution any good at all. I think that he's emotional when he's speaking about the office. And as a public spokesperson, you must exude some level of calmness. I don't think he's doing well when it comes to, I've listened to him on this matter on 2 occasions. He's not distinguished himself. Yeah.
Well, he's the director of strategy
He's not even
and
the director of communication.
Strategy and
But is there
communication.
communication there?
Strategy and
communication.
communication. Strategy and communication merged together.
Maybe they just recently added it.
So that is it for this discussion. Let's talk about some agric now. Let's do that in the limited time that we have quickly and deal with it. Today is Farmers Day, as you all know. The theme for this year's celebration is Eat Ghana, Grow Ghana, Secure the Future. Eat Ghana, Grow Ghana, secure the future. We know that agric is the backbone of the economy, as we've been saying for the last couple of years. Over the years, we had a bit of challenge with how agric was performing. This year, we have been told that agriculture grew by 6.0% in the first half of 2025, compared with only 2.9% over the same period in 2024. And the growth was broad-based. Crops grew by 6.2%, livestock 5.8%, and fishing 7.7%. lots of numbers. The substantive issue that we've been talking about over the last couple of years, as long as I can remember. Earlier on, I was saying that in primary school, social studies, they were asking us how to improve upon agriculture. We were all talking about mechanized farming and all those things, but we are still not there yet. And let me start quickly with Prof on this issue. I mean, Farmers Day,
Yes.
we have to do more for farmers.
We need to celebrate our farmers. They've done a lot of things for us. The reason why I will never lack clothing in my life is that my first clothing that I had to do maize farm. And the maize farm, the money that I got from it is what I gave to my father to buy Christmas cloth. That was my first time.
Christmas.
Yes, Christmas cloth. So I wore this white shirt and then some trousers, which was red. That time we had a tie on the, the tie here and then the baggy at the down. It was my own sweat from farming that I used to buy. So my parents, my grandparents were all cocoa farmers. I have been in the cocoa farm. I have harvested rice before. I have done a lot of farming. And I enjoy doing that. Even here that I am, at Accra here, my garden, I had big cassava tubers and plantain and all that. Farmers have not been celebrated enough in our country. And I think that is not a good thing. Their stomach will alert you when it's empty. But unfortunately, the mind will not, the brain will not alert you when it's empty. So you cannot stay a day without eating. And that means food is very important. I believe that we can be easily the breadbasket of Africa, just like Belgium is. We have a very nice land. Even in December, it is still raining, and we are wasting the land. If you go from Barcelona to Real Madrid, I've driven through that stretch before. It's all plowed with some farming activities. We have a lot of land that is empty that we are not doing a lot of things. We have to look at that. Now, we also have to avoid tabletop farming. Commercial farming is I live in Wisconsin. The state of Wisconsin is all farmers. I think about 40% are farmers. So we teach, as professors there, we teach different from the way you teach in Ohio or Chicago or New York, because most of the students are coming from farming communities. And one thing you know about farmers is that they don't rest. They are harvesting this, they are doing milk, they are trying to get eggs. So those who live in the farms actually build their houses in the farms. And then government provide access of electricity and water and everything for them. So they are always living in the farms and doing irrigation and all that. Here we don't have things like that. So I think that we should capitalize the way we do our farming. Because most of the things that we have, plantain, cassava, everything get rotten at the rural areas. And because our roads are also not good and our train system is not working well. So when it comes to the market, you go to Abogloshi, and Accra is by location. Food is very cheap there, but somebody buys the same thing for Abogloshi, bring it to East Legon or Jowulu or other places, and then it becomes very expensive. So we have to look at that one too. Innovation and technology is something that we need to blend into our technology. And here I'm talking about intercropping, which is also one of the areas we have not done well. GPS technology, drones, data analytics to reduce environmental impact. We also haven't even satellite-based crop monitoring, where we can see real time what is going on in our farms, and then we'll have crop health and then timely intervention of. So a lot of plethora of challenges are in the agricultural sector. And I think that the tune for this year is very good. Eat Ghana, grow Ghana, secure the future. We have to eat what we have. For far too long, we like perfumed rice, we like imported rice from other countries. What we are doing is that we are creating jobs for those people in that country, and we are not creating jobs for ourselves. So we should begin to buy made in Ghana products. These are organic, these are really good. But for galamsey, that is destroying some of these food products and not making them organic. So when we eat Ghana and then we grow Ghana, let's grow. Do you know that cassava alone, we can export them to Nigeria, Gary? Nigerians love Gary. And we can do cassava in large scale. Cameroonians like Gary. I had a friend from Amsterdam who just came in. He was a lecturer at Frontiers University in Hannover. He came here, the first thing he asked me, can you get me Gary? Okay. Cameroonians like it, Nigerians like it, Senegalese like it, Cote d'Ivoire, they like it for what? Akeche. Is it Acheke? Acheke. The cassava. So all these things, we can make a lot of money by just going into cassava, massive, capital intensive cassava production. Okay. And then we can export Gary and make, but see the women by the roadside doing the Gary and 35 Ghana cedis, 50 Ghana cedis. How much money are they going to make? Right. So let's invest more capital into our agriculture sector.
About 2 minutes.
Yeah, just 2 minutes. I don't have time. You see, the point is that you said something quite interesting. all the reforms we need to make agriculture better in this country are in books. In fact, they are in JSS books.
Primary school
books. What we have not done is to take them from the books and implement them. That is all. That's what we've not done. You see, if you focus so much on production, we'll get problem. The reason why the previous planting for food and jobs failed woefully was because it was a short-sighted policy. They focused on planting for food and jobs. If they had focused on production, they would have known that production would have to get to the final consumer. And therefore, you would have to make provision for distribution. When we were growing up, we used to have what we call Ghana food distribution. My mom used to be an agent of Ghana food distribution. If we can empower the private sector to engage in food distribution, the government can support the private sector. It's one of the things we have in our GTP, to have the private sector to engage in distribution. Because why are you producing? You are producing because somebody will have to consume. You don't produce for producing sake. So if you don't link production to distribution and for that matter, consumption
and income,
yes, then they will get it wrong. How do we empower the consumption unit to be able to demand what is being produced? How do we empower the production unit to be able to produce at a lower cost? How do we empower distribution to also to distribute at a lower cost so that finally the consumer can consume at a cheaper price? Other than that, you will still be buying from Burkina Faso. You'll be creating jobs in Burkina Faso while our farmers will be struggling. So it's not just about producing. It's about the cost of production, the cost of distribution, and how you empower the distribution, the consumption unit to be able to consume what is. So there has to be that synergy. And I'm saying that, for example, the government policy to ensure that food, what do you call it, free food in schools, how do you call it, school feeding, that will depend on what is produced in Ghana. No importation of agriculture produce from anywhere. Use what is in Ghana. If you're able to do that, it means there's that linkage, that integration. And I believe if you're able to do that, it will help us. It will motivate our farmers to expand production, to employ more people, to pay taxes, to export more for revenue, and also reduce import and all that. So you have a long way to go, but let's go into the books. JSS books, the agric. And we have also stopped something. I don't know what are they. We don't do agric in secondary schools. Do you do them? Is it JSS or
weed album and all those?
Yeah, no, but I think we've stopped agriculture somewhere. Other JSS, we don't do agriculture.
I know some years back, it used to be whether it should be separate from integrated science or.
Yes, I think we should have agriculture as a subject at the JSS level.
Okay.
At the JSS level.
AB.
Or GHS level.
Well, you spoke about your JSS time and those, but what you don't know that it started from the O level. The often quoted question was, agriculture is the backbone of Ghana's economy. Discuss. So we will chew it. Sometimes we'll go and pour, but sometimes when you go there and the question the other time, then you find a way of answering the question the same way.
You have to give that same answer.
You have to give some other question. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing that we honor our farmers this day. But I want to commend former President Jerry John Rawlings for that foresight. It's one of its kind in the whole of Africa. I don't think there's any country that celebrates its farmers the way that we do it. And I think it's a day that fosters national, pride in our farmers. It helps them to, because this is their day. And I'm happy that this time round, I heard the Deputy Minister of Agri say that the prizes will be given to them the same day. Unlike previously, they will have to go home and some number of days, years before they are given their prizes. This time, it's going to be given.
It's speaking crying.
They can cry, you take it and go away. But the problem is our inability to modernize farming. And I think Prof spoke about it, inability to modernize agriculture. When the farming season comes and I'm traveling up north, I get to Kintampo, you can see able-bodied men sitting with their hoes, waiting to be conveyed to the farm. You don't do farming like that again. In Europe, 5% of their people are in agric, but they feed the whole.
Yeah.
In our case, we are like 50 or 40-something% are in agric, And so because of the lack of modernization. That's why we suffer from, food insecurity. We suffer from shortage of foodstuff. And sometimes we have to import some foodstuff like plantain. It's not the best. When we have soil that can help us do that. So it's a good thing, and I want to commend the government. This farmer mechanization centers that the president has decided to establish at various places to help farmers. That I think would go a long way to improve upon the modernization of agriculture. If we don't do that by modernizing agriculture, but we still want to stay with the whole and cutlass approach to agriculture, we are not going anywhere. And the problem that used to be, I don't know, it's still there, I don't know. But we saw agric in secondary schools
Punishment.
as a form of punishment. And that made young people growing up not to want to go into agric.
It's true.
I'm sure by now they have desisted from doing that in the SS system. If we are able to take that off them, we can cultivate young farmers. Because I'm told that most of the farmers are aging, and we need replacement. And so the school system should not criminalize agriculture like they did in our time when they used to punish you to go and weed a farm. But all in all, I think the team, Eat Ghana, Grow Ghana, Secure the Future is apt. And I'm happy that this year, you said agriculture sector contributed much than last year, isn't it?
Yes.
That's why we are finding this glut and farmers are complaining. But I'm happy the buffer stock is trying to mop up all those ones. That for me is a good thing.
Let me come to Senior now, but I mean, there's this message. We are told that Mike Kofi Aflo, who was instrumental in conceptualizing this whole National Farmers Day, in terms of celebrating the day, he's not been recognized or given any national award for the past 41 National Farmers Day celebration. Maybe that's one thing that
how did he?
The government,
did he tell us how he conceptualized?
That's what we would have.
We
to,
need
we have
to.
Look
We
into.
need to know how he conceptualized it.
Yeah, we have to look
because if we don't also know, we can also advocate for him. So they should let us know.
So yeah, Agric, we have to do more.
Is there not a glut?
There is. I mean, in the last couple of weeks, months actually. Yeah.
Is there not a glut? What does that tell you?
That the soil is very good.
What does that tell you? That tells you that there is a chain, a productive chain. If the farmer is growing and you cannot turn that growth into added value, what happens? It hits a wall. And these are some of the things we should do to help the farmer, not only on the implements, but to make sure that there's an off-taker for the things they grow. Prof was talking about cassava. Fantastic. Did we not have a cassava program led by his party leader? What happened? In the days of a champion.
No, he's referring to
It's good you are heckling him too.
we all knew who you was referring to. Essentially,
in the days of a champion, you weren't alive, were you? Or you were in class 1?
I'm listening.
Operation Feed Yourself. Come, boy, oh boy. Come and see Ghana. Come and see the youth. We weren't able to continue it. And that is where that continuation should have been. By now, we'll be miles away. Look, I believe where agriculture is concerned, 3 things: air, food, water. For agriculture, we need to have a collective plan for agriculture. Any party that comes into power follows that plan. Look, if a Martian falls from the sky and we travel the Martian from Accra to Kumasi, and the Martian looks left and looks right, the first thing he will ask us, hey, you people, you are rich, pal. All this bush here, is that what you eat? Left, right, Kumasi to Accra, Kwana Dahokwa. You try going to do something on that land, and you see what would happen to you. The land tenure system has to be improved if we want effective agriculture. And it should be done in such a way that people can go in. Look, when we were growing up, our fathers made sure we had gardens in our homes. So me, I learned how to grow yam. I learned how to grow cocoyam. I learned how to grow tomatoes. I learned how to take care of goats because we had all that in the house. A certain section of the house was what? Dedicated for those things. Today in Ghana, go to his house. Everywhere is paved. I lie? Everywhere is paved. Doc was talking about his house in Kofodia. Go there now. The whole place is paved. So how do young people, children growing up, learn how to do these things?
I have a small backyard garden.
You have a backyard garden. It's good.
Lettuce and carrots.
And Ebo was condemning the, what do you call it? The planting for food and jobs. When you read that document, it's fantastic. It's the implementation of it that didn't work out. So if you are going to do effective agriculture, it's not only got to do with implements, it's got to do with a chain. Look, when I used to do pineapples, I never had a pineapple farm. I never had a pineapple farm. What I did was I invested in outgrowers. And when they bring their pineapples to my yard, I make sure I sift it because I knew what they required abroad, the different sizes they required abroad. But in so doing, I also help the farmer do what? Grow their pineapples well. Does that happen today? The local pineapples that we even grow, do you see them today? No. Why? Because foreigners came in, they brought their own and then killed ours. So it's not just celebrating Farmers' Day. It is sitting and looking how best we can put it in place. Everybody here, including your studio men, should have a farm. Everybody. Don't we eat? Don't we eat? We grow food. Don't we eat? We have to eat. So if everybody is engaged in it, it helps the economy. It helps bring food down. Because, tell me, the food statistics now, has it lowered? When you look at the inflation of food, has it lowered?
Yeah, food inflation has
consumer prices.
Yes, and now food inflation went down, and what went down to? Inflation too has gone down. It goes to show you the importance of agriculture.
Of course.
So in as much as we are celebrating our farmers, let's do the right thing by them. Because what then happens is that they overwork themselves. Look, when you're going to the north, and you get to the north and you see them going to farm, sometimes it is sad because you would have thought they would be the ones who would have the wherewithal to live comfortably. As you rightly said, I think it was Abu, in America it's just 5% that look after the entire country in agriculture, and they are rich. They are rich.
I mean, the reason why I condemn the planting for food and jobs policy was that, you remember, at the tail end of it, the minister had to carry food from farms to
get me right, please listen to me. I said the document was
good,
implementation. But the implementation was wrong. And you see, that was one thing that happened with the past MPP government. They do good documents, but for its implementation, 10%, 10%, 10%. So it doesn't go anywhere. Self-interest, stealing should stop in everything we do, because even in agriculture, that kind of thing stops the farmer being able to do what? Right now, a lot of farmers are doing what? Are going away from cocoa. Today, don't we still export cocoa whole? And if we were to add value to cocoa, it makes more money than exporting whole. So in as much as we are celebrating the Farmers' Day, we should make sure that at the end of it, we can produce and export, because that's where the money
value
is.
Value addition is very important.
So that is it in terms of our discussion this morning. I want to celebrate all.
They said that Galamsey, it fell on him and he died. 35-year-old.
Who is the man you said?
The name is Mike Kofi Aflu. Mike Kofi Aflu.
He sent me something.
Yes. Okay.
So he has evidence.
He also sent me something.
He sent me something.
He has evidence.
The Mike himself,
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
I think the ministry should call him.
Yeah.
And then talk to him, and next
So
year
the person
they
should be
should reward him.
Yes.
They should reward
He
him.
says
It's a
he's
good
the
concept.
originator.
Yes.
And last Monday I visited a friend.
And it should be
Interestingly,
patented in his name.
When we go to his house, before I left, we had eaten fufu, and everything was from the backyard. Yaboa, shout out to you for doing that in your house.
We used to do it when we were growing up.
It was very normal. These days it's not anymore.
Very normal.
My guest this morning have been Professor Enoch Opokwentry, Prof. Who loves his purple so much, Professor Governance and Policy Analyst. Ebo is Deputy Communications Director for the United Party. Kwame Juntuah is a legal practitioner, a member of the Convention People's Party, energy analyst, and also a farmer. Yeah, also a farmer. Oh, that's nice.
So, me mega debia meka, since the creation of OSP, the office, you know, there has no been improvements in corruption index in this country. You can't corruption index simply how corruption is being reduced every single year. But since Omukreati is Omukan is saying a institution corruption akoso okroma I increase change every year and every government. President Akufo-Addo, ex-President Akufo-Addo, former President Akufo-Addo, the 8 years will be try. Corruption now come a change a since independence. And you all know it. After 1992, Mufanchemi Ayenya Constitution, Rawlings, take over. After Rawlings, Yera Kufo Baye, after Kufo Yera, Atamos, Ebesomu, Asebi Fofi Antwata, na John Ebesomu, Ayuachiri, Akufo-Addo Baye. Corruption akoso okroma. It is what unprecedented. It been see that to the extent say ono ankasa na point is sebi ono omo be som ye ni nkrofo ono omo ebe som man no about 80 of them and omudi omo kwagina court aban ben na free so abi sida mo me bisa mo se woni misa afa to comment section nim. It has never happened before. So sadie we na esi wo bra na ye create Office of the Special Prosecutor and a core mandate and he said to arrest, investigate and what prosecute if the person found guilty. But sadly we na ya the past 8 years. Enti obi oni nam wa ono chese wo dwumadi we se wudi no undi. So for that matter you must be removed from office. Na say any pan what to nam na da friend so mbra no me cheche nse mo baya what keeping where detaining. This is a constitutional breach, and I think say lawyer Martin Kpebu and the lawyers they will find this thing very unhappy, and I know say they are going to take action because who can say Jabianya o yonko di lawyer Martin Kpebu Sami Dako any in conformity press a year office of the special prosecutor honor no I know more fair I know more what do call it omafe any lawyer Martin Kpebu. Lawyer Martin Kpebu you be a sebi ebru sebi nyado was no and he understands the law. He understands the law. He knows every single of the law. Adibiano otenasi okasa without breaching the law. Intifra o friend no o friend say o could detain for no reason to the extent say utimima bodyguards one of the soldiers or mobile who buy honor it me insult no and that's thing lawyer Martin Kpebu no me my respecting the papa say soldier ni no okache say you are stupid or no so kache say also you are stupid. You get me because untimi hwe obi ani ndi na tem keke won bre ko wonya nya hwe or in the name of you are in a security attack or in the name of you are having the ammunition you are having the what the gun to shoot until you can insult anybody around. No, we are not in a coup d'etat. We are not in a military regime. I will be between Ashe Weniasi. No, we do attempt keke. No, we jaw seko. Enti, I am a deposit lawyer Martin Kpebu. Omano squarely reply because sebi. Odi muka ne saying anodindin ko adwabo a ye dia sotoro ene beja akwan. And I know say this thing no it won't just end like that. And by all means, office of the special prosecutor, meaning say the office no be in free honor because a juma or and so any we all know say Ken Ofurata I was say or the prime suspect in the Kufuor's government. I know we join na American. He is the one I was saying Kawo Kisie Jabin. You must bring him to Ghana. But who didn't trust Ghana for say, oh, Mashasi, Mayesi, meanwhile, ye be my equation, na a yentro. A fena, Attorney General Bisa was for the docket of the case Nebra will say, Minyan Shasi. Until ye be a prosecutor, you are the one to be prosecuted. It is a say, Kiseja Bindi, but lower the home to a level. You bit me and so you will do it for him till the time he resigns or President Mahama take him out from office. Chirawajo or comment section, bye bye.